Nakatakdaan niyang isagawa ito sa Agosto.
A senior North Korean official was bound for New York for high-level talks with U.S. officials as preparations for a historic nuclear summit between President Trump and North Korea leader Kim Jong-un gathered pace. General Kim Yong-chol, vice chairman of the Central Committee of the Workers' Party and right-hand man to Kim, will meet U.S. Secretary of State Mike Pompeo in New York, according to officials. Trump confirmed the general was on his way in a tweet and boasted that Washington would have a great team for the talks on resolving the old foe's nuclear standoff. The president still hopes the meeting will take place on June 12 in Singapore. Meetings are currently taking place concerning summit and more. Kim Yong-chol, the vice chairman of North Korea, heading now to New York. Solid response to my letter. Thank you, Trump wrote.
North Korean Vice Chairman of the Central Committee, Kim Yong-chol, is arriving in New York and will meet with Secretary Pompeo later this week. We also have a U.S. delegation meeting with the North Korean delegation in the DMZ. Well, this will be the Secretary's third meeting with Kim Yong-chol. They've had obviously very deep conversations where they've talked about a lot of detail about what the United States expectations are.
Residents of Ellicott City trickled back to town after flood waters forced them out. Damaged houses, fallen trees, emergency and repair vehicles, and traces of where the water made its path were what welcomed the people of this historic Maryland town. Resident Casey Jones described the experience.
Yesterday it started about 4 o'clock here on Main Street in Ellicott City, and it just flowed. It was like a great big river, and it was running like it with rapids, like you could went canoeing down Main Street, and it just wouldn't stop. It just kept coming and coming. And we all just ran, got to the second floor. They came through and they did evacuate a lot of us, and we got out. But my nephew was caught at 8130 Main Street on the second floor and had to be rafted out when the rafts got to it. And it's just heartbreaking to have this happen again a year and 10 months later from the last one.
This flood came less than 2 years after another flood, dubbed as the 1,000-year flood, carved its path through the city in July 2016. The recovery process was made a little bit easier with organizations like the Iglesia Ni Cristo or Church of Christ donating goods that would immediately benefit the community.
Hurricane Maria, which pummeled Puerto Rico in September of 2017, is likely responsible for the deaths of more than 4,600 people, some 70 times more than the official estimates, according to U.S. researchers. Take a look. Now, the government provided death toll stands at just 64. But experts say an accurate count was complicated by the power outages and widespread devastation wreaked by the storm. The hurricane caused $90 billion in damage and is ranked as the third costliest cyclone in the U.S. since 1900. Earlier, independent investigations had put the true toll at closer to 1,000. But the latest estimate, compiled by researchers at Harvard University, came back far higher at 4,645 deaths from the day of the storm, September 20, until December 31, 2017. The Harvard study, published on the New England Journal of Medicine, surveyed almost 3,300 randomly selected Puerto Rican households and found mortality rates left 62% from September 20 through the end of 2017 compared to the year before. They counted not just direct deaths but also those who died due to storm-related delays in medical treatments, injuries, infections, and chronic illness. The U.S. government disaster response came under heavy criticism in the hurricane's aftermath. President Donald Trump, who visited the island on October, appeared to downplay the devastation, comparing modest early figures with the 1,800 people who died in 2005 in Hurricane Katrina.
If you look at a real catastrophe like Katrina, and you look at the tremendous hundreds and hundreds and hundreds of people that died, and you look at what happened here with really a storm that was just totally overpowering. Nobody's ever seen anything like this. 16 people versus in the thousands. You can be very proud of all of your people, all of our people working together. 16 versus literally thousands of people.
The Harvard study states that its estimate of over 4,600 deaths is probably conservative. A number of organizations have sued for access for Puerto Rico's death certificates. In response to pressure, the island requested outside experts from George Washington University to review its process. And an initial report is expected in the coming weeks. Puerto Rico has still not fully restored its power grid wrecked by the hurricane. The 2018 hurricane season begins June 1st.
Welcome to the garden. A world that recaptures the value of life, creating your moments, kindling your passion, worth reliving over and over. This is your world, your life, your garden.
Landmarks, Linggo, alas 6 hanggang alas 7 ng gabi.
Prosecutors in Belgium said an attack that killed 2 police women and a male bystander in the eastern Belgian city of Liège on Tuesday amount to terrorist murder. Take a look.
The facts are qualified as terrorist murder and attempted terrorist murder. An investigating judge from Liège specialized in terrorism was put in charge of the judicial investigation. He ordered an autopsy on the bodies of the 3 victims, as well as a toxicological examination of the perpetrator. The investigation, at present, concentrates upon the question whether the latter acted alone.
Amateur footage aired by Belgium state broadcasters show the gunman shouting Allahu Akbar as he walked through the streets during the rampage. In another video, a short and intense burst of gunfire is audible. After which, the man lies on the ground. The gunman, on a police watch list for contacts with Islamist extremists, launched a brazen suspected terror attack in Belgium, shooting dead 2 female police officers with their own weapons before killing a bystander. The bloodshed in the gritty eastern industrial city of Liège began around 10:30 a.m. local time Tuesday, when the attacker, armed with a knife, repeatedly stabbed the 2 officers before using their own firearms to kill them. The shooting occurred near a high school on a major artery in the city, which lies some 90 kilometers east of Brussels. Now, after shooting the 2 police officers outside the cafe, the gunman fled to the Lycée Waha school, where he briefly took a hostage, according to officials. Liège prosecutor spokeswoman Catherine Collignon said the 3rd victim was a passerby in a vehicle who was driving in the area. Now, according to Belgian broadcaster RTBF, the shooter was released from prison on Monday and was only known for minor infractions with no known links to extremism.
More news will be coming your way when Eagle News International returns. House Majority Leader Rodolfo Farina said President Duterte will mark his third State of the Nation address in July by signing the proposed Bangsamoro Basic Law or BBL. The bill is based on the proposal submitted by the Bangsamoro Transition Commission to President Rodrigo R. Duterte. It aims to establish a political entity, provide for its basic structure of government in recognition of the justness and legitimacy of the cause of the Bangsamoro people and their aspiration to chart their political future through a democratic process that will secure their identity and posterity and allow for a meaningful self-governance.
I was not willing na, may sariling police and everything. So, we told them that payag naman yung BTC na yung kanilang police regional office in the Bangsamoro will still be like a regional office. They wanted that local elections in the area, like municipalities or whatever local government they will create, will be governed and administered by the Bangsa Autonomous Region, Bangsamoro. Hindi kami pumayag, and I told them that it is a constitutional mandate that all elections are to be administered and conducted by the COMELEC.
The President certified the proposed Bangsamoro Basic Law as urgent on Tuesday. The certifications of urgency were given to Senate President Tito Soto and Speaker Pantaleon Alvarez late Tuesday afternoon. U.S. television network ABC on Tuesday canceled the hit working-class comedy Roseanne after its star Roseanne Barr aimed a racist tweet at a former advisor to Barack Obama. It's a joke. That's how TV star Roseanne characterized her tweet, saying former Obama aide Valerie Jarrett looked like if, quote, Muslim Brotherhood and Planet of the Apes had a baby. But that equals VJ. But that so-called joke got her TV show canceled. ABC released a statement hours later stating, Roseanne's Twitter statement is abhorrent, repugnant, and inconsistent with our values, and we have decided to cancel her show. And tweet apology after a barrage of criticism on social media. Barr apologized to Jarrett, who is part black, and to all Americans for what she called a joke. I am truly sorry for making a bad joke about her politics and her looks. I should have known better. Forgive me, my joke was in bad taste. She tweeted, I apologize, I am now leaving Twitter. But the damages has been done. The backlash to her latest tweet was swift, with public figures from actors Rosie O'Donnell and Don Cheadle to CNN analyst April Ryan calling out Barr. Roseanne's own TV daughter tweeted. Roseanne's recent comments about Valerie Jarrett and so much more are abhorrent and do not reflect the beliefs of our cast and crew or anyone associated with our show. I am disappointed in her actions, to say the least. Barr's 1988-97 hit show Roseanne returned to the air this year with her as a Trump-supporting character. Barr is also an outspoken backer of President Donald Trump in real life and frequently voices her support for him on Twitter. The revival of Roseanne received good ratings and was recently renewed for a second season. African-American comedian Wanda Sykes, a consulting producer on the comedy, announced Tuesday she would not be returning to the show. Campaigns had also been launched on social media to pressure advertisers to drop their support for the sitcom.
Happy 50th anniversary to Eagle Broadcasting Corporation. This is Sister Gladys Reyes Someru, and we wish you more years to come.
Whoever they are. and wherever they may be, they all have the same message. Mata ng Agila, Mondays through Fridays, 6 to 7:30 p.m. Only here at Net 25.
ASEAN in Focus, Monday to Friday, 2 to 2:30 p.m.
Fierce storms which swept across northern India have killed at least 47, taking the death toll from freak weather over the past month to several hundreds, according to officials. The storms and lightning strikes toppled walls and power pylons or electrocuted victims as temperatures in India rose to as high as 48.6 degrees Celsius or 119.5 degrees Fahrenheit. Disaster management officials in the states of Uttar Pradesh, Bihar, and Jharkhand said 47 people had died in nighttime storms that swept across the region. Bihar was the worst hit, pounded by strong winds and thunderbolts. The wild weather extended into neighboring Uttar Pradesh, where winds of up to 70 kilometers an hour buffeted India's most populous state. Another 10 people were injured, some with burns after being struck by lightning. Many people in rural India sleep outdoors in summer to escape the searing heat, making them more vulnerable to storms. Nearly 200 people have died in Uttar Pradesh this month in powerful sandstorms. Scores have died in other states. In Jharkhand, east of Bihar, 13 people died and 6 were injured in violent weather overnight, according to Sushil Kumar, head of the state's disaster management department. The Indian Meteorological Department has warned that more storms and heavy rain could hit Uttar Pradesh and Bihar in the next 2 days. Extreme heat has also gripped many parts of India, with a high of 48.6 degrees Celsius recorded Monday in Khajuraho in the central state of Madhya Pradesh. In Delhi and much of northern India, daytime temperatures have been above 40 degrees Celsius for the past week. Storms are customary during the summer months, but the intensity and death toll has been higher than normal this year.
Fast-moving lava continues to advance in the neighborhoods of Lailani Estates, Hawaii. According to the authorities, the lava from the Kilauea volcano is moving at 27 meters per hour. Take a look.
Someone actually asked the U.S. Geological Survey if it's okay to roast marshmallows over volcanic lava. And the USGS actually took the time to answer. Take a look. Now, the query came on Twitter and with a caveat asking whether it would be safe to roast marshmallows over volcanic vents using a long stick. The USGS Volcanoes Twitter account responded to Mr. First Carey, saying that such an experiment would lead to a bad taste and a pretty spectacular reaction. They said it would not be safe and advise people not to try to do so. Now, the fumes, some of which smell like rotten eggs, would spoil the sweet candy's flavor, the USGS cautioned. Now, last week, people in Hawaii were warned about toxic fumes produced when molten rock flows into the ocean. Volcanic vents, the fissures in the ground from which lava flows onto the Earth's surface, also release large amounts of gases. The comment was among a flood of public service announcements Wednesday about the Kilauea volcano in Hawaii, which has been in eruption since May 3 on the Big Island. So far, it has destroyed 71 homes and forced the evacuation of around 2,000 people. Only one serious injury has been reported after a man was hit by a projectile molten rock as he sat on his balcony.
LeBron James will attempt the most amazing achievement of his historic career by leading the twice rebuilt Cleveland Cavaliers against heavily fancied defending champion Golden State in the 72nd NBA Finals. The 33-year-old superstar reached his 8th consecutive finals, seemingly by sheer force of will, lifting the Cavs on his shoulders throughout the NBA playoffs to book their 4th finals meeting in a row against the Warriors. With the best-of-7 championship series opening Thursday at Golden State, this marks the first time in North America pro sports history that two clubs will meet in the final for a 4th consecutive season. A title would cap the superlatives of an epic career because never has a James-led finals club been so huge and an underdog as the Cavs are now. Las Vegas odds makers had the Warriors as the biggest NBA Finals favorites since 2002. Meanwhile, the Warriors seek their 3rd crown in 4 seasons in 6 overall, which would match the Michael Jordan-led Chicago Bulls for 3rd on the all-time list behind Boston and the Los Angeles Lakers. With Kevin Durant dominating inside, Stephen Curry and Klay Thompson as 3-point sharpshooters, and Draymond Green inside contributing rebounds and assists, the Warriors have been nearly as formidable as they were in last 3 years' title run. Curry is also wary of dismissing James' supporting cast. Injuries could play a role, with Love uncertain for the opener, while the NBA concussion protocol and Golden State's Andre Iguodala questionable with a sore left knee. In tennis, Serena Williams made a winning return to Grand Slam tennis, which was as memorable as her body-hugging black cat suit when she reached the Roland Garros